What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. It is the Muddy Puddle Squad today. If you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to click that big red subscribe button so you guys never miss out on future videos. But today we're going to be reading another pathway in the Choose Your Own Adventure book inside UFO 5440. So without further ado, let's get right into it. It's your first trip on the Concorde, the supersonic jet airliner that crosses the Atlantic in 3 hours and 45 minutes. Right now you're at 57,000 feet, in mid-flight from New York to Paris. You look up from the magazine you've been reading as a voice comes over the loudspeaker. This is Captain Ravel speaking. We're about halfway across the Atlantic now, at latitude 54, longitude 40. We've just come onto a new course that will bring us over the coast of France in about 90 minutes. Those of you on the left side of the plane may be able to see the southern tip of Greenland. You glance out the window, hoping to see Greenland. Instead, you see a gleaming white cylinder, several times larger than the Concorde, but without wings, engines, or ports. The object, glistening in the early morning sunlight, is coming straight at you. Look! The white-haired man sitting next to you leans toward the window to get a better view. At what? Don't you see it? It's coming right at us. He opens his mouth to answer, but says nothing, because you are no longer there. You are sitting on a thick rubbery mat in a circular room. The room is bathed in a pale white light, yet you see no windows or doors or lamps. You remember now, sitting in the Concorde, the huge white object coming at you, the plane shuddering, and where are you? The pale light turns violet, and mixing with oranges and reds, it brightens, as if the sun were about to rise. A voice is speaking, except it is not speaking. You are hearing thoughts entering directly into your brain. We are the UTY Masters. You are on the galactic ship Rachma, orbiting the planet Earth. You have been chosen to be a specimen in the galactic zoo on the imperial planet of Ra. If you refuse to cooperate, you will be sent to Somo. You make one statement. And this time, guys, so I could either choose to ask more questions about, like, the spaceship, or I could demand to return to Earth. And this time, I'm going to demand to return to Earth. Though there is no one in the room, you speak out in a loud voice. Return me to Earth! You have no right to hold me prisoner. The only law is the law of the UTY. Again, the voice seems to be inside your brain. When it speaks this time, a whole wall dissolves before your eyes. A moment later, you find yourself floating through the air, drawn by some mysterious force along a curving passageway. In the dim yellow light, you can make out human figures. Sitting right in front of you, on thin white mats, are a girl with long black hair and a slender blonde boy. Their legs are crossed, and their arms are folded in front of them. They seem to be meditating. You are excited to find other human beings, yet you suddenly feel very tired. You want to sleep. Maybe you'll be able to think better when you wake up. If you lie down to sleep, turn to page 5. If you fight off the urge to sleep and try to wake up the others, turn to page 16. If you decide to explore elsewhere, turn to page 8. I think I'm going to turn to page 16, guys. I want to wake. I don't remember if that's the decision I made last time, but I want to see if I want to try to make that decision this time. You shake the boy. He stirs, opens an eye, and then slowly gets to his feet. My name is Ingmar, he says. I'm glad to see you. You're the first new Earth person I've seen in over 50 years. How were you captured? I was on an airplane, and I saw this huge spaceship coming, and then suddenly they took me aboard. I'm just gonna film it right there. It was the same with me, says Ingmar. Only it happened more than 3 centuries ago, long before airplanes were invented on Earth. I was working on my father's farm in Sweden. There was a tremendous thunder and lightning storm. I ran for the barn. Next thing I knew, here I was. 300 years? Has anyone escaped in all that time, you ask? Ingmar puts a hand on your shoulder. I'm afraid not. The ship is controlled by the UTY Masters. They collect specimens of the most intelligent species in the galaxy. This is the chamber of the Earth people. Other chambers contain creatures from other planets. Is there any way to see the rest of the ship? Sometimes we can move about. but we can never be sure when. You may find that you can do things here with your mind that you could only do with your hands on Earth. Or if you have the right kind of mind, and you stand by the forward wall, and you think hard enough, you may gain entrance to the chamber beyond it. But what would happen to you, I cannot say. I have never been willing to take the chance. You touch the girl. She stirs, then sits up, rubbing her eyes. She looks at you curiously for a moment, then says, "I'm glad you're here. I'm Kim Lee. You know my language?" Kim Lee stands up, stretches, and looks intently into your eyes. "Language is no problem here. We have hundreds of years to learn." "You're hundreds of years old?" "I was collected 475 years ago, during the reign of Emperor Chang Ti. I was a princess, but here that means nothing." "But you look only a few years older than I do." Kim Lee smiles. "The UTY Masters stopped our aging process, so I have not grown up. But I have learned more than I would in a dozen lifetimes on Earth." "How long have you been sleeping?" "It was just a short nap. About 25 Earth days." 25 Earth days? You talk with Kim Lee for a long time. Somehow you feel sure that she and you will be good friends. "Is there any chance for us to escape?" you finally ask. Kim Lee places a hand on your shoulder. "We are like butterflies in a net, captured by the UTY Masters. Soon, very soon, the Rakma will leave the Earth for its home planet Ra, your new home, hundreds of light years away. We shall never see Earth again." "I've got to get out of here," you cry. "I want to meet the UTY Masters. Maybe they will listen to me." Kim Lee shrugs. "I could show you how to come face to face with the UTY. I must warn you, though, no one who has tried it has ever returned." If you decide to meet the UTY face to face, turn to page 38. If you decide to leave Kim Lee and explore elsewhere in the ship, turn to page 8. I'm going to see if I'm going to meet him again. It seems like I picked a really similar path, even though I thought I wasn't. So I'm going to go to page 38 and meet him again. Maybe I could get out of it this time. Who knows? "Follow me," says Kim Lee. "But remember, if we say the wrong thing, they will store us forever, like eggs in a carton." Your new friend leads you through a series of long, twisting corridors. Sometimes you pass through walls that dissolve at her touch, and then again from behind you. Suddenly, the UTY Masters are before you. 3 spheres, no larger than basketballs? They hover in the air, glowing like pink and violet clouds above the setting sun. What will they do? What will they ask? At first nothing happens. You want to speak, but you dare not. Are you being hypnotized by the glowing, pulsing lights? For a moment you wonder whether you are still alive, or whether you have entered an afterlife of another universe. Their voices, rich as a chord played on an organ, sound in your brain. "We have been watching you. We can predict everything you will ever do, ever say, for the rest of your life." On hearing these words, you are filled with anger and fear. You try to think of something that would truly surprise them. If you cry, "Put me back on Earth," turn to page 75. If you throw back your head and laugh, turn to page 76. If you say 2 lines from a nursery rhyme, thinking that they could never predict that you would say that, turn to page 79. Now, I've already turned to page 79. That was what I did for the last section, or the last story time of this book that I read. So if you guys want to see that ending, please go watch my other video and turn to like almost the very end of the video. But this time, I'm going to cry "Put me back on Earth" and turn to page 75. Put me back on Earth. The moment you speak, you fall unconscious. Awakening, you find yourself in a seat that seems strangely familiar. A woman wearing a uniform is standing next to you, her hand on your shoulder. "We're preparing to land. Buckle your seatbelt." You realize that this woman is a stewardess, and you're back on the Concorde. Everything is the way it was before. As the stewardess moves down the aisle to check on the other passengers, you look dazedly at the white-haired man who was sitting beside you when you were captured. He turns toward you, a surprised look on his face. "Oh, you're back. Where were you for such a long time?" The end. That is hilarious. That is a hilarious ending. But thanks, guys, for checking out this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the path that we took. and I will definitely be posting another one very soon of a different path. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.